Hi, this is Paul. I want to make a video about the whole Brandon Tatum. Normally, like I said, he just irritates the crap out of me. He's a complete sellout, complete, C word. And but apparently he just did the Jubilee thing. I don't know if they pay them or not for that. And I don't know who advised him to say. I assume they paid him, but I have to Google that and see if they did pay him, or maybe they just show up. But I don't know why he went on there against, being the conservative against 20 liberal. It looked like it was a bunch of college students, and they looked like they were very knowledgeable. And there was a few things. I didn't watch the whole thing. I just watched some highlights of it because I don't think I could get through a whole however long it was with him, because he would just frustrate me with his, excusing everything white people do and stuff. It would just frustrate me. But there were a couple of things that stood out, especially when the young lady asked, so, Donald Trump is racist, right? And he said, how do I know Donald Trump? He said, that's the most silly thing he's ever heard. That he's met Donald Trump a couple of times, and Donald Trump has been racist. Now, of course, that's a total lie, of course. And I don't know if they fact check how the fact check works on that. But like I said, everybody else in the room just started laughing at when he said that, because obviously Donald Trump has a track record, okay, of racist things, okay? The housing discrimination that him and his father back in the 70s got sued for by the Department of Justice, okay? And they had to pay a fine for that, okay? The exonerated 5, he took out the ad in the newspaper saying that these kids needed the death penalty. And of course, these kids turned out to not have been involved at all. And he never apologized for it. The whole birther incident with Barack Obama, okay? And more recently, oh yeah, and when he ran for president and he started talking about all Mexicans are rapists and all that, when he came down on that escalator and said that all Mexicans are rapists, and then maybe he was going to try to get a Muslim ban in this country. And then the other thing was with the Obamas. Remember that video he released with them portraying the Obamas as monkeys? And so, okay, so he has a long track record, and Brandon Tatum knows this, okay? And the very fact, like I said, like everybody thinks he's playing a role, okay? But again, karma is going to come and catch up with him anyway. I think that's apparent. That's going to catch up to him. He doesn't realize most tokens get spent, okay? And it's just a matter of time before he gets spent. And okay, and he also, he's married to a white woman, which is, his right, of course, to be married to whoever he wants to be married to. But he said, listen, I'm raising a blended family. I'm not going to raise my sons as black men, okay? Which is, I feel ashamed, because eventually he can raise his kids any way he wants to, but those kids are going to find out eventually, and it's probably going to be by a white man that's going to tell them who they really are. Okay, a white man is probably going to try to insult them and remind them of exactly who they are. Okay, and they're partly black. Okay, and the very fact that he's going to supposedly try to raise them to not be black is really asinine. Okay, when you think about it. Okay, because all you got to do is look at you, Brandon, in the mirror. Okay, and like I said, I know this is all performative for him. He's doing this. He's like, again, he's just a long line of sellouts, okay, in the black community. There's just, unfortunately, you have certain people in the black community who will sell out for a buck, sell out for a white man's approval. And it's really shameful. It really is. And like I said, when I saw that Jubilee with him, and I said, oh my God, why would he do it? And like I said, you see the people asking the question. And another thing that really, really irritated me, and I saw D.L. Hughley talk about it, and I think the comedian, what's his name? I can't remember. Ari Spears too talk about it too, and I think also Godfrey, the comedian too, talked about it. When the lady brought up the Tulsa race riots, and he said, oh, it was a conflict between the black people and the white people, and the white people, they got the advantage over the black. He made it seem like it was a parking ticket incident or something, okay? When it really was basically a race war, where they basically erased this whole town, this whole black town, Black Wall Street, that had, was this thriving black community, okay? That had their own banks and doctors and lawyers and everything else, and they were thriving, and they were the only people that literally got bombed by white men. They actually used airplanes to bomb that town, and they actually wiped out that town. They said it was over 300 people died. It was like over 100,000 people left, homeless, and and people went to the hospital. It was just absolute bloodbath. okay, and it was just, again, out of pure jealousy, and but he will never acknowledge that, okay, because he has a role to play, okay, as a protector of everything white, and just, he makes himself look like a real, okay, and like I said, he's going to get his come up, and so, like I said, and the thing that made me laugh the most about him is when Nick Fuentes just basically made fun of him. This basically is Nick Fuentes, the white supremacist who's actually Mexican, which is another thing that's hilarious. But he just basically said, he basically embarrassed Brandon Tatum. He's talking about he's doing this, supposedly doing this all for Israel, supporting Israel for free, and so just embarrassing the crap out of him. You got to watch it. Just look, Nick Fuentes talks about Brandon Tatum. Okay, it was just absolutely hilarious. Him just disparaging him, and it was just really again just to show you. And he's gonna get, like I said, just like Candace Owens got her wake up call. He's gonna get his wake up call too. Okay, and as far as I can say, he can stay right where he is. Don't try to come back. Don't try to apologize later for all the hurtful things you've said. Okay, and all the hurtful. Just forget about it. Okay, and it's done. I'm absolutely sick of him, and I will not call him officer, because he's not an officer. Okay, he's Brandon Tatum. That's what his name is. Okay, don't call him Officer Tatum. Okay, what kind of thing? Please, you were a cop. You're not a cop anymore. Okay, and the very fact that these people, these young, educated people, are trying to, trying to educate him, and he was basically dismissing it out of hand. All the things they kept bringing up about systemic racism and everything else, and he just kind of just was dismissing it. And he's just, again, he's the complete sellout. Okay, and again, another guy that's going to get his comeuppance. It's just a matter of time, because everybody, they all do. Okay, it's just a matter of time before he gets his wake up call. Okay, when they white people that he's so loved, he's caping for so hard, they're going to tell him exactly what they really think of him. Okay, they're really going to tell him what they really think of him, and he's going to have this Pikachu face, like, oh my God, yeah, and and that's gonna be a glorious day. It is gonna be a glorious day. It's just a matter of time before it comes, okay? And we'll see exactly how you raise your quote unquote non-black kids, okay? And exactly, and just like I said, they're gonna find out, okay? Especially if they're gonna find out. Unfortunately, in this world, the way it is, those kids are gonna find out exactly. They're gonna be reminded of who they are, okay, by some racist person that's going to see them and talk to them and know who their father is, and they're going to tell him exactly what they think of him, okay? And he's going to have a hard time when he has his kids coming to him crying, saying they called me the N-word and all this, telling me, oh, I'm stupid or whatever, and he's going to have to sit there and try to explain to them why he never told them that they're partly black, and trying to raise them and let them be aware of what the world really is like. That day is coming too, unfortunately, for his kids. And my heart goes out to them, because they didn't ask to be born, and they didn't ask to have such a sellout father, okay? But it is what it is. So we'll see what happens with him. But I am absolutely fed up with him. But again, and I love it every time D.L. Hughley just rips him to shreds, okay? And Godfrey, and like I say, even Ari Spears was ripping him to shreds and stuff. Tell him exactly, because he's so willfully ignorant, okay? And okay, he's gonna get his wake up call, okay? He's gonna get spent, and he's gonna really find out what they really think of him, okay? And they already have showed him in various ways what they really think of him, but they're gonna really show him exactly what they mean, and he's gonna have that dumb look on his face, okay, when it really happens. Okay, and I hope all the money that you're making right now, hope you save it all, okay, because you're going to need it. Because when they throw you away and have no further use for you, okay, you're going to be sitting there struggling, okay, and you may even have, so we'll see what happens. See, I'm just fed up with this idiot, but I had to talk about him a little bit, because I saw that he did the Jubilee thing, and I said, oh my God, you see the black people coming up there, asking them questions, and they're bringing facts and everything, and he's just dismissing it out of hand, and saying he haven't heard about that. And the way he just talked about the Tulsa race riots, and Black Wall Street burning down and everything that happened, he just dismissed it as like a small dispute, okay, when that was hardly what really happened. And this shows you his willful ignorance, okay, and his stupidity, okay, and his self, Again, like I said, I think he's doing it all for money. Okay, yeah, I think he perfectly well knows what's happening, what he's doing, and he's doing it for the buck. Okay, but again, I definitely believe in karma. His karma is going to come for him, just like it's come for everybody else that's been selling out. Okay, so anyway, let me know what you think of the whole Brandon Tatum thing. Let me know what you think. Feel free to leave comments down below. In the description box, I have links to my Facebook, my Twitter, my Instagram. Also, have a link to my main channel, Trepacer, in the description box as well. Also have a link down below to my merchandise store. As you can see, I'm wearing my spherical circle shirt. I have that design. I also have the Trepacer logo. Those are the two designs I have on my merchandise in my store. I have it on t-shirts, hats, sweatshirts, hoodies, water bottles, teddy bears for men, women, unisex. Follow a link. It'll take it to my merchandise store. Also, please give this video a thumbs up. It helps the channel, and I truly appreciate it. Also, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, so you know when I upload new content to this channel. And this is Paul saying so long, and take care.